When I was 1 month pregnant, my CEO husband bought me millions worth of fish maw to nourish my body. But I overheard him in the stairwell asking, "Will this fish maw really cause a miscarriage?" His secretary nodded firmly. He sighed, "That's good. Remember, the doctor must be present, and buy only the best supplements. Under no circumstances should my wife be harmed." A woman nearby interrupted, "Ethan, you're going to make her abort for my child. Why not just divorce her?" Ethan cut her off sharply, "Since when have you been allowed to act on your own? I warn you, she must never find out about this." Seeing the woman about to cry, Ethan softened his expression and kissed her. Soon, Ethan and the woman's voices intertwined with intimate tones. I hid around the corner, crying like rain. So the man who once claimed to love only me had long been entangled with another woman. If that's the case, Ethan, I don't want you anymore. I returned to the VIP ward like a walking corpse. The nurses hurried to settle me onto the bed. "Emily, it's a relief you're okay." Otherwise, Ethan would have been devastated. 7 or 8 nurses crowded the room, chattering and advising me. "Yes, when you were brought to the hospital that day, I thought Ethan was going crazy. When you went into the emergency room, I saw Ethan kneeling in the corner, praying to Buddha." I watched them busily, numb, but my mind replayed the previous scene. Ethan, willing to erase my child for another woman. My heart clenched painfully, I could hardly breathe. Why is the fetal monitor alarming? Ethan arrived even before the doctor, holding me tightly, telling me not to be afraid. After the doctor gave me a protective injection, Ethan's brows remained tightly knit. Wasn't Emily's pregnancy stable? How could this happen? I spent hundreds of millions to assemble this medical team, and this is what you call doing your job? I lifted my eyes from my daze. Ethan's harsh tone, though severe, seemed to reflect real love, for me and the child I carried. The nurses and doctors dared not respond. I pushed Ethan gently, and he finally relented. He hugged me tighter. "If anything happened to you, I'd regret it for the rest of my life." His voice was still gentle, and his eyes filled with intense love. I fell into his embrace as before. Only when the spoon of fish maw was raised to my lips did I come back to reality. Seeing the pink thermal container I had glimpsed in the stairwell, tears streamed down my face. Ethan hurried to wipe them, flustered, "Is your stomach hurting again?" I shook my head, "Ethan, this soup smells too strong. I can't drink it." But the usually accommodating Ethan softly refused. "No, Emily. Drink it, just a little, for me." 10 years of knowing each other, Ethan knew I would endure any grievance for him. Yet the man claiming to love me had schemed to deceive me, only to make way for another woman's child to take the firstborn title. Tears mixed with fish maw, bitter on my tongue, yet no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't swallow the hot soup. Ethan put the spoon down and fed me spoonful by spoonful himself. The next morning, the pain returned as expected, and blood soaked the sheets uncontrollably. Expensive imported medicine arrived continuously, but the doctor could only shake his head helplessly. Ethan held me, crying uncontrollably, blaming his negligence. He grasped my hand, voice dripping with anguish, "Emily, sign the abortion consent. If the child is gone, I cannot lose you too." The once aloof CEO knelt at my bedside in front of everyone. What a perfect husband. Had I not witnessed the other scene, I would never have believed all of it was lies. Even as I was pushed into the operating room, Ethan's tears did not stop. When I came out, Ethan's face was swollen from crying. He seemed truly miserable. But I knew, as with all his previous affection, it was all performance. "Ethan, your acting is really excellent." The next day, Ethan carried me to the pre-booked postpartum center. From the hospital bed to the center, he never let my feet touch the ground. Yet I remained listless, and Ethan's brows never relaxed. He tucked me in, glancing at the corner of the room where baby clothes and toys were piled. I had started preparing them the day I knew I was pregnant. Half the room was full of them. Ethan's face turned cold. He scolded the nurses to remove the unsightly items immediately. The room soon became spacious and bright again, but my heart ached, my vision darkening in waves. He hugged me tightly. Emily, Emily, don't be sad. We will have children again. No, Ethan, we will never have children again. But Ethan couldn't hear my grief. He pushed all matters aside, staying close to me. His secretary came several times, phone in hand. Ethan, the old man is not doing well. He insists on seeing you. Ethan only replied, I'm not a doctor. Why should I see him? The secretary was sent away, and no one disturbed us again. The sun shone brightly. Ethan babbled about the garden full of my favorite gardenias. Suddenly, I remembered Ethan proposing to me. He stood among the gardenias, and when I nodded, I cried with happiness. Those feelings were real, but Ethan, how had he changed? Let's go see then. Ethan looked up, eyes full of excitement. Yes, let's go. I refused to be carried by him. From the bed to the garden, thick blankets were laid on the ground. Ethan's long darkened face finally showed a smile. I was mesmerized, but then I heard Ethan's voice grow angry again. Why is this calming juice cold? What if it upsets Emily's stomach? Yet I didn't hear his scolding further. I turned my head and saw a woman Ethan deliberately tried to shield, her half-soft face revealed. Oh, it was Sophia. No wonder. Seeing me glance, Ethan quickly stepped aside, blocking her completely. Perhaps fearing suspicion, his tone carried slight anger. So reckless, what if it scares Emily? But after hearing something from Sophia, his tone softened. All right, won't happen again. He brought the juice over. Emily, I warmed it. Drink, you haven't slept well these days, you need rest. Seeing his distracted look, I drank the slightly iced juice. Darkness crept over me. As he wished, I fell asleep. I thought I'd sleep long, but after some movement, my body became completely immobile, though my mind was awake. Sophia's coquettish voice rang in my ear. Ethan, aren't you curious what I'm wearing inside? Ethan's voice, full of restraint. No, Emily is sleeping right beside us. Rustling sounds arose. Ethan's breathing deepened. Ethan, don't you think this is more exciting? Soon, the sound of furniture clashing echoed. Sophia's voice was loud, as if she knew I could hear. I tried covering my ears, but couldn't. When the noise finally stopped, I thought I was free. Sophia whispered again, let's go to the bathroom. The endless nightmare continued, every word piercing my ears. Her voice was flirty and wet, making my heart tremble. Ethan, I can't. Third time, I can't take it. Ethan groaned, can't take it and still wrap your legs so tight. I've been absent half a month, sending me those pics and videos every day. Do you know how hard it was to sneak out? So for half a month, every time Ethan frowned and said he was stepping out to smoke, he was watching this. After an indeterminate time, it ended. Sophia approached, whispering in my ear, you heard it yourself, Ethan desires me. If that's not enough, check your phone videos later. When I could finally open my eyes, my tears had dried. As Sophia said, a stranger's WeChat sent a video. In the video, Ethan held Sophia's fair hand, showing a furnished nursery. The decor was all too familiar, striking my heart like a punch. When I was first pregnant, Ethan never seemed happy. I thought he worried about me. Until one day, he excitedly called designers home to decorate the nursery. Even the plans, he had drawn himself after late-night client meetings. But it was all for Sophia. I approached the door but lacked courage to enter. I stood for an unknown time until Ethan came. He held me tightly, trembling. Emily, thank goodness you're okay. His eyes red, words incoherent, face full of panic. The secretary reminded him, Ethan, her feet are bleeding. Ethan looked down. I wasn't even wearing shoes, tears fell. He wanted to lift me, but I grabbed the doorknob, unyielding. Seeing I didn't move, Ethan's expression instantly changed. He turned pale, almost like he had lost half his hair in an instant. How could this happen? How could our relationship just break like this? He was sure it was a misunderstanding. From the very first day he met me, his feelings had never diminished. Ethan's eyes were red as he looked at the housekeeper. where's the delivery person? Quickly catch them and ask where my wife went. The housekeeper was frightened by Ethan's madness. Mr. Ethan, SF Express wouldn't care about this kind of thing. Ethan clutched his head, sobbing uncontrollably. Why won't you even give me a chance to explain? The maid standing outside spoke cautiously. Mr. Ethan, I may know why. It seems someone sent a video to your wife. The day she returned, she sat in the garden staring at her phone for a long time. Ethan shot up. The phone? I had given the substitute a new phone to manage daily messages. The old phone, after the garden was searched upside down, was finally found under the gardenia bush. Ethan hurriedly turned it on and quickly found the video that had been intentionally saved. In the video, he was intimate with Sophia, shopping with her, decorating the nursery with her. Ethan almost crushed the phone in his hands, only stopping after a long time. He hoarsely instructed the housekeeper to bring a suitcase full of cash and threw a stack in front of the maid. Everyone started talking at once about what they had overheard. I heard your wife murmuring, saying, since there's someone else, why still lie to her? That day she burned a piece of paper. I secretly picked it up. On the ashes it said, if I were acting, could you tell? The cash in the suitcase slowly dwindled, but the emptiness in Ethan's heart grew larger. All those anomalies, and yet he had been too confident to notice. Sophia had provoked him so many times before, yet he thought that I, loving him so deeply, would never suspect. Now, it was time for him to atone. The chatter of the staff suddenly fell silent as they noticed the CEO before them had turned white-haired almost overnight. Sophia received a call from Ethan's secretary, telling her to come over. She was ecstatic, practically bouncing in place. After all these years, Ethan was finally bringing her to the mansion. Perhaps this was the moment to officially announce her presence to everyone. After all, she was carrying Ethan's firstborn. Maybe the old man of the family, upon hearing the news, would regain his faculties and grant her unborn child some inheritance. From that moment on, she would be the mother of the heir to the Ethan empire. Entering the mansion, she frowned at the garden, feeling it looked like it had been plowed. She ordered the housekeeper. Why does the garden look so awful? Clean it up before I come down next time. And I don't like white flowers. Plant all red roses, Damascus roses, got it? Excited, she didn't notice the housekeeper's twitching face and disgusted gaze. Upstairs, she saw the servants lined up, each holding a stack of cash. Her anxiety eased. Such lavish generosity meant Ethan was in a good mood today. Seeing Ethan standing in the center of the room, she playfully jumped forward and hugged him. You just got off the plane, and you already miss me? Can't even wait a moment? Or does someone at home want to see me? If it's awkward for you, you don't have to. Just being with you is enough. Ethan's icy voice cut through her playfulness. Did you send the video to my wife? Sophia, oblivious to the displeasure in his tone, muttered. I sent it from my alternate account. She doesn't appear in it. I just wanted to give her a heads up about the heir, in case she couldn't handle it. Ethan chuckled, looking at her. Do you think you're clever? Sophia pouted. Well, you taught me well. Ethan smiled again. Do you know my wife gave me a divorce agreement? Sophia's heart skipped a beat, her delight barely contained. She knew I had a fiery temper, but she didn't expect a single video to make me act so decisively. Her plan was to enter the mansion after giving birth and negotiate with me. Oh, your sister has such a temper? Ethan smiled more. Yes, I told you before. She's always been strong-willed. When angry, she even slapped me in public. Sophia's joy blinded her to the pity in the servants' eyes, especially the housekeeper, who sneered inwardly. This foolish girl didn't realize the expression Ethan wore when furious. This was only the beginning. She feigned concern and hugged him. Humph, you care for her so much, yet she gives you no respect. You've suffered all these years, but it's okay, I'll be here from now on. Before she could finish, Ethan kicked her hard. Sophia slammed onto the table, tears instantly streaming. Ethan? Her confusion quickly vanished. The man who used to be gentle and loving now had a face of ferocity as he grabbed her. You fool! What are you thinking? Did I not tell you, you will never let my wife know of your existence in this life? Now you send video after video, afraid she won't see clearly? If you want to die, I'll give you what you want today. Horrified, Sophia followed as Ethan dragged her to the window. Standing on the third floor, she sobered instantly. She begged, Ethan, I know I was wrong. I didn't think it would come to this. I just sent a few videos, didn't even speak to her. Please, don't, my child might not survive. At the mention of child, Ethan loosened his grip. Sophia scrambled down and knelt, holding his legs. I won't think of anything else. After the baby is born, I'll leave and never bother you again. Her words were tearful, but her inner resentment surged. She cursed me in her heart for leaving a trail for Ethan to see, scheming to have him chase her instead. Before she could dwell on her plans, 2 servants grabbed her. Ethan's cruel smile appeared. You're right, the 3rd floor isn't high enough. To ensure your child dies, we'll go to the 6th floor. Without my wife, you think I'd let your child live? Amid her agonized screams, Ethan pushed her from the rooftop. He then instructed, spare her life, and send her to the black market overseas. She loves being pregnant? Let her have her fill. After the rooftop was cleared, Ethan held his wedding ring and ordered. Both legal and criminal sectors, put up a 1 billion bounty to find my wife. I never expected to see Ethan's wanted notice even in this remote border village. Thankfully, I had changed my appearance and borrowed a new ID. Now, I was Sienna. I kept a low profile, the villagers only noticed the foreigner living with me. To avoid suspicion, I had already contacted a foreign teacher, Jack, as a teaching partner. Using the guise of volunteering, I settled completely into the village. Once my appearance had mostly healed, I began teaching. The locals were simple and used to visiting teachers. No one linked me to the wanted posters. Life passed quietly. I assumed that Ethan's obsession with Sophia would soon make him stop searching for me. But I was wrong. Wanted posters kept arriving in waves. Not only that, Ethan spent huge sums advertising on national TV during prime time. The first time I ate at a villager's home and saw my photos and videos on TV, I nearly jumped out of my skin. Jack pulled me back just in time, preventing me from smashing the bowl. The villagers, noticing, smiled knowingly. Though misunderstood, they didn't suspect a link between me and the woman on TV. They loaded our bowls with extra food, changing channels, but all were ads looking for me. Jack became curious. Sienna, teachers from the big city are all this devoted? He shook his head. The CEOs I know usually have many women around them. The villagers sighed. Then this Ethan is a rare hopeless romantic. Jack didn't respond. In our country, if a man truly loves a woman, he never lets her leave. For some reason, I felt Jack's eyes glance at me when he said that. I quickly lowered my head and focused on eating. On the way back, night had fallen. Some village paths had no lights. I misstepped and almost fell. Ahead was a large thorny bush. I braced for scratches across my face. But no pain came. I landed in a solid embrace. I opened my eyes, moonlight reflected in Jack's deep blue eyes, like an endless ocean. Time seemed to freeze until a dog barked, snapping me back. I quickly pushed him away and stood up. Jack chuckled. Why so flustered? I'm the one benefiting here. His Chinese was fluent and smooth, unlike the hesitant speech I remembered. Although he had said he grew up abroad, I had wondered why he needed a teaching assistant. Now it made sense. I frowned suspiciously. Why did you lie to me? Jack smiled. Sienna, everyone has a little secret, don't they? His tone implied he knew more than he let on. My unease grew. I even considered packing and running while he slept. Jack said again, Sophia, your memory is terrible. Hearing my original name, my heart dropped. How did he know? I had hidden it so well. Jack tapped my head gently. Stop overthinking. I knew from the beginning you were Sophia. If I wanted to sell you for a reward, could you have made it this far? Relieved, I said, okay, I trust you. But don't call me that in public, villagers might hear. He fixed his gaze on me. You really don't want Ethan to find you? I nodded. And he's been bad to you? What does it matter to you? I snapped, brushing past him. We walked on, the dark path ahead. Fear crept in, so I called back. Hurry up and come. Jack laughed and led the way. Later, under the sound of cicadas, I heard him whisper. Sophia, your memory is really bad, you don't even remember me. After that, no matter how I asked, Jack refused to explain further. Luckily, he showed no unusual behavior otherwise, so I didn't press. Days passed, but Ethan's search grew more frantic. He put my photos and videos on all social media, Xiaohongshu, Weibo, TikTok. Every time I opened an app, my face and his weary voice appeared. Fed up, I stopped using my phone, having Jack bring a pile of books from the county. Finally, peace. Ethan's antics were tolerated because his company stock was rising due to his fame. Eventually, people would stop letting him act recklessly. But before that happened, one day I left school and was dragged up the mountain. It was Ethan. His cheeks were hollow, stubbly, but his eyes burned like fire. Sophia, I finally found you. I pushed him away. You've got the wrong person. I'm Sienna Wu. He trembled uncontrollably. Sophia, how could I be wrong? Even if you turned to ashes, I wouldn't mistake you. Please, come back with me. I've dealt with that woman and her child. I swear, I'll never lose myself again. I know these are excuses, but I was exhausted, and she. Enough. Sophia, let's start over, okay? Seeing my resistance, he quickly added. I didn't want you to keep the child because pregnancy is too dangerous. Doctors said forcing it could risk your life. I couldn't bear losing you, so I acted without permission. Pain filled his eyes. I thought if that woman helped, you'd have a child safely. But I didn't expect to hurt you. I sneered, Ethan, all your excuses for cheating, pathetic. If you admitted it, I'd at least respect your honesty. But you lie, and you punish a woman carrying your child? Disgusting. For the first time, I spoke so harshly. Ethan froze, realizing my loathing. I turned to leave, but he held me tightly. You hate me, despise me, won't forgive me, it's fine. Just stay with me. I won't let you leave again. I struggled desperately, but he was too strong. Watching his unhinged obsession, tears streamed down my face. We were far from the village, no one could hear me. Even if I offered money, villagers might not help. Despair weakened my struggles. Suddenly, Ethan screamed in pain and released me. It was Jack, holding a stick. I ran behind him, hiding. Ethan clutched his head, glaring at Jack. So you're the pretty boy Sophia picked? No wonder she didn't come back. Sophia, don't fall for a man running from abroad to cheat on women with sweet words. Come back with me, I'll change, I swear. I'd die for you. I sneered, Ethan, no matter how you dress it up, the fact is you've hurt me. That won't change. He ignored me, trying to pull me forcibly. Jack shoved him, Ethan, you've got a lot of nerve. If I knew you were like this, I'd never have let Sophia go to you. Ethan froze, staring at Jack, you are. Alex? Floods of memory hit me. Alex was my childhood neighbor. We grew up together. In high school, he went abroad. Ethan had pursued me then. Alex had handed me to him, thinking he could take care of me. Alex glared, Ethan, you promised love, but look what you did to Sophia. Are you even a man? Ethan paled, I'm not. Alex interrupted, if you truly loved her, respect her wishes. Never appear in her life again. He took my hand, leaving no room for Ethan to intervene. Back in the village, everyone saw my cold demeanor and didn't pry. I continued teaching normally. Days later, a rescue team found Ethan unconscious in the forest. He had gone days without food or water. But what did it matter? A wrong done cannot be undone. Since then, I never saw him again. Occasionally, fruits and seafood I liked arrived at the village entrance. The village was remote, deliveries arrived fresh, sometimes with dew still on the fruit. I never touched them, giving them to villagers. Time passed, even my taste changed. But Ethan never understood. I thought it would take time for him to realize. Then, one day, the news aired, Ethan had starved himself to death in his ex-wife's mother's house. He was found clutching a broken comb in his hand. A mix of emotions overwhelmed me, I didn't know what to feel. Alex snorted seeing me stare at the news, "You only care about that scumbag." I quickly tossed the phone aside, "Stop, now I only care about you." Alex leaned in, "That depends on your actions." I hurried to kiss him. A student delivering groceries saw it, teasing, "Wow, Teacher Jack got kissed by Teacher Sienna." Alex handed the student candy, "Not teacher, she's the headmistress. Don't get it wrong again." I laughed. Yes, Ethan was gone from my life. Everything ended. My new life was finally beginning.